Stand your ground. Not guilty. That was the verdict George Zimmerman was found of a few days ago in the trial of the state versus George Zimmerman for shooting and murdering Trayvon Martin, the 17-year-old boy that was walking down the street, pretty much minding his business. What is stand your ground? Well, it is the ability, the lawful ability to protect yourself against any aggressor that you feel you are in imminent danger of. Up into and leading to the point of deadly force, you are able to and will be free of any type of prosecution or responsibility for shooting and perhaps even killing an aggressor. How did Stand Your Ground come about? Well, here's one of the founding fathers, Representative Dennis Baxley, who actually resides in Florida. He is a representative of the Ocala County in Florida, and he is also a lifelong National Rifle Association member, who also happens to be the best friend of Marion Hammer, who is also a gunslinger and a gun toter. First female president of the National Rifle Association, and with over 35 years of gun lobbying, she has been known for creating laws that allows guns in schools and allows also for the ability for doctors and even pediatricians to never ask about any questions having to do with guns or rifles. Stand Your Ground was actually, it actually came about in 2005, and here's a map that will show you the number of states that have kind of some sort of variation of this law. Here is a graph also that will show you the spike in justifiable homicides since the inception of Stand Your Ground. Here's another graph. It's a line graph that will show you the differences between the Stand Your Ground states, which are in the darker line, and all the other states, which are the lighter lines, and the years before this law had been enacted versus the years after. And you'll see that there is such a substantial increase in homicides and deaths since the inception of, again, wrongful Stand Your Ground. Taking a closer look at Florida, you'll see that there's also a number of deaths that comes about because of the Stand Your Ground law. Well, you don't really want to say because of, but on average, you can tell that pre-Stand Your Ground versus post-Stand Your Ground, there's a substantial spike. And especially in 2009, 45 deaths, which will also include justifiable homicides. The problem with Stand Your Ground, I've listed a number already, but to be quite honest, one of the problems that we see and we're faced with is the ability to stand your ground and not be held accountable for your actions. And it's fine if you need to, take care of yourself and be free of any type of bodily harm with which someone wants to cause harm to you, then you have that full ability. However, there are some nuances to the Stand Your Ground law. Here's a perfect example. Again, George Zimmerman was found innocent because he stood his ground. And he claimed self-defense for basically fearing his life and fearing the aggressor, who happens to be Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old boy, and was actually out on probation for a long period of time up until this trial, where he was then found not guilty, and because he was claiming self-defense. This is Marissa Alexander. She is 31 years old, and she is also a Florida native. She's from Jacksonville, Florida, and she had an abusive husband. In 2010, she got into an altercation with her husband, and to kind of wean him off of her, she took a gun and shot it in the air to get him, to stop him from abusing her, any type of force against her. Well, she ended up being found guilty in Florida courts of aggravated assault and is now facing 20 years in prison for standing her ground. So right here is a stark difference in how the law actually stands and helps one and not the other. Because of these substantial differences, it's important that we repeal this law because of the many different nuances. It should not ever be held to a certain standard. It shouldn't be based on your age, your race, your gender, in order to have the ability to stand your ground. So a lot of things need to change in terms of this law, and we need to repeal and petition to repeal this law as soon as possible. Thank you.
6 minutes, 15 seconds.
Peekaboo. Hello.